Behind the mask.
We have this distinguished guest amongst us today.
Yes, sir.
Man, we appreciate you stopping by, but before we jump into it, 3-time Pro Bowler, all right, Super Bowl champ,
Got that ring.
co-host of the Man to Man Pod with D-Butt Darius Butler
Yeah.
and Howard's own.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
y'all give it up for Antoine Bethea.
Appreciate y'all,
What's
fellas,
good,
man.
family?
Appreciate
Everything
y'all
good?
for having me on, baby.
Yeah, man. So how's the grind been, bro? Like, everybody talk about this special week, Super Bowl week. You not only experienced it, but you got some hardware to show for it too, right?
Yeah, man. It's a special week. It's a special week, you know. As we all know, sitting here, you know, this is what we push to. You know, at the beginning of the season, you know, training camp. You know, hey, look, let's get to that Super Bowl. You know, let's hoist that Lombardi Trophy, man. So to be here on the other side, being able to experience it, and just getting ready to, you know, see a good game.
Talk about that grind, though, going into Super Bowl week. I mean, you got the media obligations, radio roll, family wanting the last bit of tickets. You only get a couple of tickets to give away,
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
If you want to give it away to some family.
Right.
Talk about what that grind feels like, man.
So, you know, obviously after that NFC or AFC championship game, you got that week, and that's that week that's really the tough week. Like you mentioned, you know, getting those tickets, getting those hotel rooms, whatever the case may be, getting all that out the way. And then getting here, you know, you got the media or Tuesday or whatever the case may be, Wednesday. And then after that, man, it's the grind. It's time to get ready. You know what I mean? Lock in. You know, take care of what we came down here to take care of.
So we got to ask you to take us behind the mask on this, because a lot of people see the end result, the game.
Yeah.
But, like, take us behind the mask on, like, one of the things that, you know, typically we all wonder, hell, I ain't never played in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What was one of the things that would be most surprising to most people that they just didn't know what happens the week of the game? That really surprised you after you got in it?
I would say just the logistics part, right? Because, you know, throughout the year, we don't worry about no logistics. We don't worry about travel. We don't worry about where we staying at. We don't worry about none of that.
It's all handled.
You know, that's already handled. But, again, you know, that week prior to traveling, now you really got to deal with that. You know, all we focus on is ball. Like, you know, checks, communication, you know, what our opponent's doing. But, you know, having to have that extra you know, thing that you got to worry about. I always say, I feel like the team that handles that week the best is going to come out more prepared.
And I tell you what, man, one of the things that I hated about the Super Bowl, didn't play. I was on the team, but didn't play in the game. But it's weird how the confetti of the winner comes down, but the confetti of the loser doesn't come down. But watch it, guys. There's a yellow rope around the winners, and the winners get to stay on the field. And it happens just like that.
Yep.
But what's that feeling like? You know what I'm saying? You hoist the Lombardi Trophy, and then the off season after that, because you get mad perks after you get that ring, bro. Show the hard way for the behind the mask fam, yo.
So I would say this, like we won my rookie year.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, okay, well, we came in my rookie year. I'm gonna get about 3 or 4 of these. Like this is easy work, right? But our Super Bowl was in Miami.
Off the
So
glass.
you already knew, like,
Tank.
oh
Lights
man.
out.
Yes.
So we win, man. And to your point, that off season, that stretch that we had,
Yeah.
unforgettable. I'm talking about from that night. Then you got to think about that next weekend was All-Star weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So we, you know, All-Star weekend, and you going to every spot. Yo, we got the Super Bowl temps in the building. You know, it's all lights, it's cameras, and all the other extra stuff that come with it. But, you know, it was all off season. And a lot of time, you know, people talk about, you know, how's that Super Bowl winning team going to do next year. A lot of time you just have that hangover from that.
Yeah.
You know, it's February to March, April, May, June.
It don't stop.
It don't stop. Yo, Takeo, got a party in the hometown.
Yeah.
And then the next week, and you like, yo, I'm going to have one in my hometown. And you know, all the boys going to pull up. So, man, it's one of them times I'll never forget.
I bet you won't.
Never forget. Never forget. Good times.
I want to ask you about, we saw Deion Sanders was at Jackson State. He decided to move on
Yep.
to Colorado. Now, the pride and joy of Howard, another HBCU.
Yeah.
When you look at how all of that transpired, and a lot of people were thinking, like, oh, he should have stayed. What's your take on it? Because I never really got a chance to hear. We talked to plenty of people, but we never talked to anybody who actually played at a HBCU and got a chance to really see, like, the opportunity that was presented to him. So go ahead and shoot my boy.
So, yeah, man. So it was a lot that goes into that, right? So, obviously, what Coach Prime was able to do for Jackson State, obviously Jackson State was already historic in its own right. But what he was able to do as far as bring eyes, bring resources to the campus, to the student athletes, man, I commend that, right? Obviously, being able to get an opportunity to go to a Power 5 and potentially do some great things at Colorado, I salute him for that as well. Obviously, getting paid, $350,000 now, you can bump that pay up to, nobody's gonna turn that down, right?
55 years old, too.
Nobody's 55 years old.
Nobody's gonna turn that down, and I respect that, right? But as an HBCU grad, the only thing that I disliked about it was the narrative when he came in versus the narrative when he left out, right? So the narrative when he came in, it was like, this is what we need to do for we need our players to come back here, and again, just the narrative, like he was going to be the savior of HBCU, right? And my thing was like, it wasn't like the first chance he got out of there. You know what I'm saying? Not the second time, not the third time, the first chance he got. And I get, like I said, I was there for 4 years. Like as far as the facilities, the administration, I get that. And I just felt like, he did his due diligence before he took that job at Jackson State. Yeah. He knew what he was walking into. Right. Everybody know what, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like he knew what he was walking into. So again, like no knock on it. Like what he did was great, but I just didn't, as an HBCU grad, man, just that narrative. But then it's some truth to it too. But, again, man, I salute Coach Prime for what he did for Jackson State. And, I wish him, much success at the next level.
One of the things I think people don't know, because Coach Prime was so polarizing, his personality, his aura. Yeah. Obviously a Hall of Famer, his name speaks for itself. Yeah. One of the things people don't know is how many former NFL players are actually coaches and head coaches at the HBCU level. Yeah. So what can us as former athletes, former NFL players, along with the former players that do coach at HBCUs, what can we do to keep that momentum going that Coach Prime so much contributed to get these HBCUs the notoriety, the recognition, the funding that they need?
I think everybody's going to be different, right? Everybody's not going to be able to come on campus with a name like Coach Prime. Right. You know what I mean? It's just different. Where you got Eddie George, who was a great baller, when he played in the league at Tennessee State, doing some great things at Tennessee State, right? And we can go down the list to your point, like a lot of guys that's coaching. But again, I just think it's more of the structure of the HBCUs that needs to be tapped into, right? Again, we talk about the administration, we talk about the alumni being able to give back. I think it's more so on that because, again, you're not going to be able to go too many places where one guy can be able to change the entire show. Facts. You know what I mean? It's going to have to be a community that comes in and does that. Facts. So, but again, though, guys can, what we can do is, if we all in the coaching, being able to go back and give these youngsters this knowledge, man, and give them this game.
Mm-hmm. And BTM podcast, Man to Man podcast, let's go down to some of these HBCUs and represent and show them what it's really about.
Let's link up.
We really can collab and put something together special, bro.
No question. I'm with it.
We're going to hold you to it now.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yo, Darius D-Butt, you see what's going on. We're going to text you, bro. We're going to let you know what's cracking, man.
Let's get it.
What else you got going on, bro?
Man, again, you guys mentioned the Man to Man pod. Wrote a book, man. The book was out, man. Bet on Yourself, Inside the Mind of the Ultimate Underdog. You can go to www.antoinebethea.com to grab that. And then other than that, man, living this retired life, man, with the family, man, and, just finding my way.
Yeah, your book, Better Yourself. I'm an author too, Behind the Mask. That's how all of this beautiful stuff got started.
There you go.
But give us some insight on what the readers should look forward to.
Yeah,
Better
man.
Yourself.
It says it, just talks about how better myself to get to where I was at, right? And I just hope that, you know, somebody reading that story just get some motivation, some inspiration of, like, you know, me coming from where I came from, going to Howard, not a, you know, huge football school, to be able to excel 14 years in the league, and just me betting on myself, believing in myself, and hopefully somebody, a reader, can get a little bit of tidbits out of that book and, you know, put that into their life.
Right on, bro.
Sure.
We appreciate the time, my dog.
Yeah, man. No, always.
Love,
Yes,
love
sir.
family.
Appreciate y'all.